Hello, beautiful people. We're back for a special Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday edition of the Indulgent Hour, a little before noon. We had a pretty, we had some good stuff this week. We had Chef Quattro Spice from Garden Square dropped that earlier this week, and then we had Campfire Tyler. We had a great chat with Campfire Tyler Thursday, and now here we are on Sunday, February 8th. Like I said, Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to get right into it, and I'm going to work up a nice pre-game appetite with my friend, Chef Nilo. I gotta switch that back over. There we go. All right, perfect. Right. Chef Nilo, Daniel Aranza from
what's up, everyone?
Strangebird and the Farm Hospitality Group. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I'm really excited for today because you and I have been chatting it up in terms of like when we were going to talk and what we were going to talk about, and we got everything in order and everything squared away, and finally we're able to get our schedules to sync here on Super Bowl Sunday, which is basically, for all intents and purposes, the eaters holiday, or one of the big eater holidays of the year, right?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
I know you got some plans with friends and family, which is awesome. I'm going to be a little low key this year because I got my wife's working today with the Outside Foundation, and so we're going to probably do something a little low key later. And I have a little bit of I was in one of those takeover pools where you like you everybody ends up with a team in a random drawing, and in order to advance to the next round, you have to cover the spread. So I actually rode the Seahawks all the way to the Super Bowl, and I'm just a little nervous about that 4.5 points. So the person that I'm playing against was the Patriots, who's a good friend of mine. We play fantasy football together. We may or may not have met on the side for a little bit of a side deal before the game is played, just to take the stress off for both of us. But there will be a little bit of a benefit for the team that wins. I'm usually just hoping for a competitive game.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about the Bad Bunny halftime performance, because even though I will admit that I'm not like a Bad Bunny fan in general. Yeah. Like I like his music. It's just not one of my things. But that being said, as you know, and as is all around me, I'm a big fan of professional wrestling, and Bad Bunny has been one of the most impressive acts and I'm not even talking about like confined to celebrity acts. I'm talking about like one of the most impressive acts in pro wrestling in the last few years, even though it's infrequent. Obviously, he has an insane touring schedule. But let me tell you, man, the couple of events that he has participated in, I think he had maybe one or two. I think maybe one year he was like in the Royal Rumble or something, but then the other ones were like tag team matches. And then he wrestled a one-on-one match against Damian Priest in Puerto Rico. I think it was 2 years ago, I want to say. It was within the past couple of years. And let me tell you, it was incredible. And the clips, because of the performance coming up, the clips have been popping back up on social media. Yeah. And he comes out to Chambea, and he has like the kendo stick, because it was a street fight type of match. So he comes out and the crowd goes absolutely berserk. And just even strictly from the standpoint of like the performance, like physically, he is incredibly impressive. He in one of his first matches, he executed a move that's called a Canadian Destroyer, where you're like, it's like the guy's head goes like he's kind of bent over, whereas normally you would like reach around and like pick him up for like a power bomb or something like that. But with this particular move, you actually have to flip completely over the person and then end up giving them like a pile driver, like driving their head into the mat. It requires an insane amount of physical ability.
I'm
And I put
sure.
him in the
Yeah.
same category as like Logan Paul, who's, I know he's more of an athlete, but people that have taken to it so quickly and don't also like they understand how the business works, so they understand how to play the role that they're playing, but at the same
Yeah.
time have a large appreciation. So I'm just excited because at the end of the day, an amazing performer is an amazing
Yeah.
performer.
Definitely, definitely, and I feel like he does give 100% into whatever performing he's doing, whether it be a movie, wrestling or a show. That's one thing that he's pretty consistent with is giving a great show.
Yeah.
So.
He's not the most, and that's what it he's introduced as he's coming to the ring at that show. He is not the most streamed artist in the world by accident.
Hmm.
Like you can't argue with
Yeah.
there's a sports guy used to be on ESPN all the time called Nick Bakay used to say the numbers don't lie. The
Yep.
numbers do not lie when you are the most streamed artist in the world, period, full stop. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a blast.
It's gonna be cool. It's
But
gonna be fun. It's gonna be
yeah, for
different.
sure, for sure. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the game, and I'm excited for the food. I want to jump right into it with you because we're coming up on the return of a really iconic, extremely popular concept in Strangebird, which unfortunately, going back, I want to say, what was it? It was probably a little over a year ago
Yeah, it's
when the fire
actually.
happened.
I believe what's today's date? I think today's the actual anniversary. If I'm
Are
not
you
mistaken.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And it's funny
The
how you
8th
and I
of
were,
February.
that's crazy. Because you and I were literally just talking about about how the timing just works out for
Yeah.
certain, like you guys have insane schedules, and we're going to talk about that as well. I talked about that with Brian with Quattro Spice the other day. If you are part of this farm hospitality group of restaurants,
Hmm.
you guys wear a lot of different hats and you're moving a lot of moving parts between all of these different restaurants, and whether it's Common Thread, whether it's Farm here in Bluffton, Strangebird. Obviously, for a while after the fire, you guys were doing pop-ups, and I want to talk about
Hmm.
one or two of those specifically because that was a great way to kind of like keep the momentum going that you had established. But let's start with that because and that's really what I enjoyed. Those was the part that I enjoyed most talking to Brian about was how did this come about? Like how long have you been with these guys? How did it come about? And maybe touch on kind of like that part of the journey that took you to this part of your career in the restaurant business.
So I joined Farm when it was just Farm back in 2017.
Okay.
Um, so we're yeah, I've been there for a minute now, and I just started. I just like their concept. Like before they even opened, I really enjoyed um, like their whole statement of who they were and what they were planning to do, and that's just I gravitated towards that like instantly. Even before I saw who was going to be working and like any of that,
Right.
just by that statement alone of them doing like farm to table type deal and stuff.
Yeah.
It just got me instantly. So as soon as it opened, I contacted them. I went to eat almost at least once a week for a good solid like month.
Okay.
And I talked with them. I gave them my information. Um, and then a little forward, everything just played out, and I joined. I
Where were
think I
you before
joined.
that?
I believe I joined a little after their first year
Okay.
um, of being open. Um, Before that, I was doing my own stuff.
Yeah.
I was a little bit in restaurants, not as much,
Sure.
but I always liked cooking. So I
So this
joined
was
them.
really
Yep.
your first full-on experience in the business as a chef was with them.
Yeah, for the most part, like more professionally for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that's um that's a steep learning curve, no?
Yeah, kind of,
Right?
kind of. It was the best learning experience for sure. I learned a lot. Like I said, I always liked cooking, so there was I came in a little bit with some knowledge of stuff, but
Sure,
for the
sure.
most part, I learned a lot and just grew. grew with them.
Yeah,
Literally.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's just like I talked to with Brian with Groucho Spice. It was because he had worked in these like open fire restaurants, like up in Charlotte and
Yeah.
whatnot. And he comes down here, and Chino is like when he was at I think it was Huskies.
Hmm.
He's like, and so we were laughing because I said it was like literally trial by fire over fire.
Yeah.
Like literally like thrown into it. Like I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to do this once and this once, and then like you're just right on it. So that's, I mean, obviously that's really impressive, to become part of a really talented group of people.
Definitely.
And what I and I was drawn to you guys immediately, going back a couple of years when I first was sort of like being introduced to you, um through obviously through farm, and then more specifically you and I finally met when you opened Strangebird, which was, I got the article here from, this was from, so you opened, it was late July 2023. So yeah, so about 2.5 years ago. And in really, and I'm not like going to profess to be this Savannah historian, right? I've
Hmm.
been coming to Hilton Head for years. We started to loop in, my wife and I, when we would be here on vacation with my family, we would start to loop in some Savannah experience. We would come down a day or two early, and we would kind of like, not necessarily tour around, but everything with me is
Yeah. Yeah.
always food driven, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would be like, okay, this is where we're going to have lunch, and this is where we're going to have a drink and a bite, and this is where we're going to go to dinner, and then this is where we're going to have breakfast the next day. And then whatever day my parents are rolling in, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, we would meet them, and going over to Hilton Head and check in. But then moving here almost 5 years ago, um, and purchasing a home in out on, like 170 in Bluffton, very close to like May River Crossing, we are really closer to most parts of Savannah than we are to like some parts of like Mid Island, South Island, Hilton Head. And I've
Yeah.
been to almost all of the restaurants in Hilton Head. And yes, of course, like I have my favorites and everything like that. But being this close to Savannah, and this just treasure trove of incredible restaurants. And so again, I'm not going to profess to be some sort of historian, but there's a lot of history in this, what they call the Victorian district of this, what used to be the Streamliner Diner, correct?
Hmm. Correct. Yep.
So you guys like renovated this thing. I mean, I might as well. I'm ready. I got the photos ready to go here. Thanks to the team over there. I have a lot of my food photos, but they were kind enough to send some really spectacular photos from the from the Strangebird. And the other thing is I don't want to skip over an important part of this, which is you guys were doing this as really a food truck for a while
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
before it became brick and mortar, and it was extremely popular concept, right? You were posting up, I think, if I remember correctly, you were in Palmetto Bluff quite a bit,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Where else would the truck post up,
We
other
would
than
do,
Starland Yard, I know as well, right?
yeah, Starland Yard. We would do Service Brewery. We would do Finches. Um, I can't remember other places, but yeah, except Palmetto Bluff. We did some stuff at a nursery right there in Pritchardville. I tell it
Okay.
Pritchardville. Yep.
And it
Um,
became extremely popular. The menu, which was, what would you say, generally you would classify the Strangebird menu to be? I mean, it's very diverse, but what would you classify
Very
it
diverse.
as?
I would just say,
Yeah,
like, um, seasonal, local ingredients, with like a Latin flair, maybe.
sure.
And not everything. Also, you had a Latin flair, but there was definitely some influence there. We had some classic traditional chicken sandwiches. Sorry, this thing keeps flipping.
That's okay.
Um, but yeah. So
What caught my eye was very early on, and I'm going to come back to because they have really some amazing photos. And yes, a couple of mine are from pop-ups and things like that. But I'm going to go back to basically my first experience, which we really, I mean, and this is kind of like the way that I roll with this stuff. It's like
Hmm.
I'm gonna go like I'm gonna order most of what I can. Usually, my wife's gonna rein me in and say, "Okay, we don't need to get all this stuff. We're gonna come back for it." But
Yeah.
this was day one for me. Shortly after you had opened, I hadn't had too many opportunities. I think I might have been able to get stuff from the truck once or twice. One of them was when Juwan was here and he was doing Juju's Street Eats.
Hmm.
That was the day that I met sitting next to the bar, sitting next to Miles Matthews, and I connected with Miles, which I'm very grateful for that because he's become a good friend as well.
Nice.
But the first experience for me was like right off the bat, I was like, man, this place is awesome. I mean, not only is this cool location, this cool sort of like diner, old school diner vibe, and like I'm from northern New Jersey, dude. Like
Hmm.
we have diners, like a couple of diners up there that still look like this,
Yeah.
And not in the pristine condition that yours was in, and I know will be in soon enough when we get to reopen, and we're going to talk about that. But I was just immediately like settle into a booth here. I'm looking up like, oh man, this is perfect because I like to have a lot of like small bites of everything. So this was like the menu that the first time that we visited. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a couple of these shareables. We're gonna get some tacos. I'm eyeing up the sides. I'm always a sucker for a cucumber salad.
Yeah.
I didn't even get into, and that's what I'm going to get into more when we're back in business. Excuse me, so to speak. I need to get into more of some of this other stuff like the burritos and whatnot. But my choices that day were we went with the queso, which was incredible. The chips were super, super like fresh. You could tell like
Definitely. Yeah.
the amount of time that you guys put into them. And this was amazing. I'm a huge queso person. We got an assortment of a couple of different tacos here with that cucumber salad, which was, I mean, I have an affinity for Asian food, and
Hmm.
Etang is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
As much as I love all the soup dumplings and everything like that, I always have to say that garlic cucumber salad that they
Yeah.
do is easily one of my favorite
It's
things.
fantastic. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Good.
Yeah, my friend Chef Anders over at Low Country Kitchen, every time the cucumbers come up, we just kind of have a moment where we just give them the respect that they deserve. But let me tell you, you guys have some damn good cucumber salad. I loved every minute of this. I think this is probably my wife and I were like, sitting across. She had a couple of these, I had a couple of those. We got the corn, we got the sauces, where I'm a big sauce guy. The sauces were amazing. And this was was it the cheesesteak or whatever on the milk bread?
Yes. Yeah. Cheesesteak.
Oh my god, what a different experience for a cheesesteak to have it on that milk bread. I mean, I think where it's some peppers, some onions. Oh
Correct.
my
Yeah.
god. This was like the perfect combination of like some tacos and some chips and some queso, and then of course the main event, at least for me that day, being the cheesesteak. I definitely am. I would say, are you going to bring back the birria burger?
Definitely.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things that we cannot not bring.
Okay, so
back. Yeah.
that's on the short list of things that I haven't had yet, dude.
Oof.
So, I have moments where I'm like,
Yeah.
because you just never know and that's why I always end up over ordering, because
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm going to miss out on something, whether it's a special or it's something that I may not have the chance to do. So when the fire happened and I was like, oh man, I didn't get to that birria burger yet. And obviously, overall, I'm like, okay, I hope everybody's okay. I hope that this, because it was a really devastating thing to happen, and
For sure.
unfortunately, this is thing that happens in the business from time to time. But I was like almost like potentially heartbroken when that happened, because like, oh man, I didn't get to have the birria burger yet, but I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a second chance to do it, and I'm gonna make it right along with a bunch of the other stuff as I work through the rest of this stuff. So talk about for like that first year, year to two of having opened Strangebird, how was that experience for you overall, just in terms of, you know, because this was really your thing that you were running with,
Yeah, yeah.
and you had a great team there, and have a great team there, of course, but the overall and the greater team of farm is just an incredible group of people. Talk about how that experience was over that first couple of years.
Like the first year of going into the streamliner, we're getting acclimated with the building, learning what works, what doesn't. The same thing with menu. I feel like, we are strong in what we serve, and what we like, but sometimes something can be changed or modified. So we like playing around with menus, and we know we did a bunch of specials and see what the customers really enjoyed and what they didn't, or stuff like that. So it was more of that, just learning
Yeah,
the space, learning what Savannah really wanted,
yeah,
and,
because
and executing it.
you have your concept, right? And you
Correct.
have what you are confident that you know is going to be good, but at the same time, sometimes it has to be tweaked a little bit
Correct.
based on what the reception is. And it's not like you're going to overhaul and you're going to change the entire thing around. Nothing bothers me more, and I won't get into talking about specifics, but nothing bothers me more than, excuse me, sorry, there was a recent situation with a restaurant where, like, they were trying some really sort of cool things,
Hmm.
and it generally wasn't well received, I guess,
Yeah.
with their audience, so to speak. And so they kind of just like soften, like, I don't know, in my opinion, like, it was almost like an overreaction to it, where
Yeah.
they kind of, I don't want to say dumbed things down, but made things a little bit more. But you have to, it's sometimes it's walking a fine line, right? Because you
Definitely.
want to
Definitely.
do cool stuff, and you want to be creative, and you want to be like, constantly trying to evolve, but at the same time, there are certain things that, you have a representation of your customer base that comes and like, well, we really like this. So
Yeah.
it's a balance. You want to keep things
Definitely.
that are popular, but at the same time, there may be certain things that you try that may not be as well received as others.
Yeah. And sometimes we like to, push the envelope a little bit. Like when it comes to flavors and spice and stuff like that. Like we like we like testing the boundaries. And
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta do that.
Yeah. Well, that's where the real fun stuff comes.
Yeah.
I was
Definitely.
talking to Leslie over at Cottage a couple of weeks ago, and one of the other chefs that I interviewed recently, just about how certain, sometimes some of the best things come out of, like, honestly, like a mistake here and there,
Yeah.
or something that you might not have particularly planned on, and something really amazing comes out of it. So we mentioned Juan before.
Hmm.
You did a Juju Street Eats pop up at Strangebird.
Correct.
This was, it says 3/12, so it must have been March of that year. It was probably 24. And of course, Juwan's since moved on. He's out in the West Coast, and I always have to mention what a great fun follow he is, not just for the
Hmm.
baked goods that he indulges in after his
Yeah.
workouts, but all you guys are very adventurous in what you go and do and go and eat when you're out and about, whether it's locally or during the course of your travel. So the cool thing that I want to mention, not necessarily briefly, but I want to get back to the meat and potatoes of it with Strangebird and whatnot. But these pop-ups are what really make things exciting, right? So we did the Juju Street Eats, which of course was an Asian inspired, Indonesian sort of influence, where you had salads and you had coconut rice, and take you through a
Hmm.
couple of I mean, the visuals on these were just really incredible.
Yeah.
The presentation in general, which is what you come to expect from what you guys put out in your kitchen, these were incredible. First with the dumplings, I mean, everything from start to finish. I think literally we did the entire, we just ordered the entire thing,
Hmm.
with these skewers with the mushrooms and the cucumbers again, and then we had the shrimp. I mean, everything was just absolutely outstanding, and I really, like, And that's what, and we're going to talk about one that's coming up for farm that's really interesting too. How does this, what's the creative process behind like coming up with some of these pop-ups? Because and I'm going to come back to another one that was really
Hmm.
interesting with the ramen in a minute here, but like, how do you guys come up with these ideas of when you're going to do these sort of special limited engagements and whatnot?
We love food, right? We
Yeah.
love food, and sometimes we just want to cook what we like to eat.
Yeah.
So like, um, we get an idea, we start brainstorming, we start doing some prep, some R&D. The next thing you know, we have a pop up.
And so that one year, which was it was November. I think it was November later that year, right? It's probably
Hmm. Yeah.
November 24. Um, you did several ramen pop-ups, and I
Correct.
know our friend who I am eternally grateful for a number of different things, but just the horizons that he's opened for me and the relationships that I have as a result of it. John Park, aka the Hungry Asian, was in
Hmm.
town, and I believe he attended the ramen pop up, and I think the couple Marno and Marie that owned School Pizza were in attendance for this as well. So you had an incredible party of four to enjoy one of these amazing ramen dinners, which my wife, I think, and I had been there maybe the week before, or it was either the week before or the week after that. And this was equally as incredible. Um, Dumplings, I'm all over that stuff all day.
Hmm.
The other one was the biscuit
Wow.
bao,
Yep.
which was just incredible. And guys, look at these bowls of ramen. I mean, just like incredible. I I couldn't get enough of it. Like it was literally one of those situations where I almost like was ready to order like a second bowl of ramen because that was so good.
I mean, yeah, they were great. They were really. We were very happy with how it came out. I believe that was our second time doing the ramen, and the first time,
Yeah,
we were as equally as busy and crushed it. So we decided to bring it back, and yeah, it was fun. They're fun.
I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with. I mean, obviously, so let's talk about that. I don't want to go too far into before. So you and I we before we came on here live, we were talking about you are seemingly getting close to the reopening after the renovations and everything post fire at
Hmm.
Strangebird, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So I want to say, so today's February 8th. It seems like you're within range of about a month or so.
Somewhat. Yeah, we're
Okay.
we're shooting for March 7th, which is a Saturday, to kick off the reopening of Strangebird. So if everything goes to plan, March 7th.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Oh, and the other thing that I don't want to forget about is we talked about how, you guys also, while you were kind of, not being able to operate out of the restaurant, you did some cool pop-ups here and there.
Correct. Yep.
One of which was Orval Day in March of last year.
Hmm.
This was at Lone Wolf, which was I want to say the James Beard nominated bar for
Correct.
Savannah, right?
Yep.
Great place right in front of over yonder, which is also a great spot for food, right next door to Sixby, which is an incredible bakery that also has a lot of good I would say breakfast and lunch type stuff. You guys set up right here, which is actually also where I had met. I think after this, I met the couple, Elena and Sunny from Two Birds Greek Street Food. Were doing a pop up at Lone Wolf Lounge as well.
Yep.
Since then, they still do quite a bit of events over in Savannah where they live. But after that, I remember having the conversation with them saying, they were like, we want to get involved in the Bluffton farmers market. And so then the next thing you know, they started posting up in the farmers market over
Oh,
here.
nice.
And they are doing like almost at this point, they're almost doing like more business over here in South Carolina than they do in Savannah. I mean, they do the big farmers market, two of the big farmers markets over in like Tybee and the Islanders
Hmm.
farmers market, which is great. And obviously they do all kinds of different events. But here on Super Bowl Sunday, they're actually going to be over at Side Hustle Brewing in Bluffton.
Oh, nice.
for yeah, for I think it's one of their car events that they have. So having the opportunity to take advantage of an iconic location for something like this, and here you guys are. So talk about, because this was a little off the wall even for you guys who do this creative stuff. Talk about these fricandels. Is that how you say it?
I believe so. Yes.
How did you guys come up with this idea? Because these were incredible. I mean, this is the definition of street food, my man.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that was all Brandon.
Yeah,
Brandon took that and just ran with it, and it was fun. You know, I helped out there to execute service, but it was all Brandon. Yeah.
these were so good. We had the basically these, like, they were like sausage sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
With
Correct.
you know, one was with steak, and then I think there was chicken, and then there was a I don't remember what the other one. I think what the grilled one was, I think it was, might have been chicken or something like that too. But they were incredible. There was about at the end of the day, I want to say there was like a half a dozen or so, 6, 7 stops or whatever on the little Flow in the Coop tour,
Correct.
which is a great way for you guys to like keep that momentum going.
Yep.
And you know, speaking of special events, I want to mention that Farm Group, as we have Valentine's Day coming up next weekend, you guys are going to be doing a Love of Barbecue event. So it is a farm event that's going to take place with our friends at Lot 9,
Yep. Correct.
which they did do a pop-up, like or I would call it a residency. I think it was every weekend in, it was either December or
December.
January.
Yeah,
Yeah,
December.
December, over at Lot 9 with what was the
Slow fire.
Slow Fire Barbecue. Right,
Mhm.
right.
Yep.
And I went and checked that out. I missed out on those big crazy dinosaur ribs that day because they sold out in like 15, 20 minutes, but I got to try everything else. I think I told you my wife attended the chamber ball last night, and so she gets home, and we're, you know, I was exhausted. I could barely keep my eyes open. It's like maybe 10 o'clock or something like that. And we lay down, and she said, "Have you seen this menu for the farm barbecue pop-up on Valentine's Day?" I'm like, I took a peek at it. I didn't dive that deeply in because I'm a menu studier, dude. So I'll see them sometimes, and I'll kind of like either send them to her or do something that is going to remind me to come back, because I need to like devote attention to it. You know, I never give the menu back after I order. I'm always like, I'm going to need to hold on to this because I have to study. I'm either going to be thinking about what I didn't order that I felt like I should have ordered, because I definitely have diner's remorse on a regular basis, or I'm preparing for my next visit, or I'm going to, if I know it works out a certain way, I may be even taking some more stuff in addition to my leftovers to go, planning ahead for future meals. So now that I take a closer look at this, I mean, damn.
Yeah,
half or whole chicken,
awesome.
Chicken fried chicken thighs,
Yep.
whew, ribs, turkey breast, pulled pork, smoked brisket, smoked bologna. They got 4 different kinds of sandwiches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of sides that you can get as cups, pints, or quarts. I've always been the type to do Valentine's Day like outside of the actual day. So we're actually gonna we got a gift card from my brother and sister-in-law. My brothers-in-law own a cheese shop up in Maine, up in Biddeford, Maine, called Nibblesford. And so they're obviously big foodies like us. So they are sneakily the best Christmas gifts that we get every year, because they know what we like. And I have not yet had any, in almost 5 years being here, I have not yet had any Italian food. I take it back. I did do Lucia shortly after they opened, so I got to give Kyle respect there, because that was really good. But outside of that, I've never really done Italian food in Savannah, and we got a Veratina gift card for Christmas from them. So I'm going to go check that out in and around Valentine's Day weekend. But I'm going to make it a point to go check this out on Valentine's Day, because this looks just absolutely awesome. You spend, I know one day I popped into Farm, you were working over there. Do you still do anything over at Common Thread, or are you mostly
Yeah, so
Oh,
right now I'm kind of a little bit everywhere.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm at Common Thread, and sometimes I'm at Flora and Fauna. Next week I'm gonna be doing some stuff in at Farm. So it just depends on where I'm needed.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because that is something that I would be remiss if I didn't mention. And I have stuff from both. I would say out of the family of restaurants, Common Thread is probably my wife's favorite. And
Mhm.
I
Yeah, it's
love them
fantastic. Yeah, it's
all.
great.
But she has an affinity for Common Thread. Um, one year for her birthday, we got the chef's table right at the counter there
Nice.
at the station where they're shucking the oysters
Uh-huh.
and doing the crudos and things like that. And it was just an incredible experience. I remember Mudu was there that day, and I hadn't seen him in a while. So that was really cool. And it was just an unbelievable. And I've done, I want to say, outside of that, at least 4 or 5 other opportunities. And for those of you who are not familiar, I mean, I can touch on it briefly. Common Thread is in like a historic building over there in Savannah, like a Victorian kind of style, I would say, home.
Hmm.
And it's an experience. I mean, I'm gonna run through like just real quick the type of stuff. I mean, it's the presentation that you would expect if you have experience going to farm. Um, just dishes that are just visually stunning. Um, a lot of times you have the option of doing like the regular dinner menu, or you can do one of the tasting menus.
Hmm.
I have not had a single experience that I wasn't blown away by. You'll have visiting chefs. Like I remember one was an Italian menu from a chef that was visiting from, I want to say, Sarasota, Florida. Um, there she is, sitting there at the oyster station. She'll yell at me for putting her up on here, but she was just having a blast.
It's amazing.
And
It's a good experience for sure.
it really is. It really is. And that's what's kind of cool about it, is that each of these properties, if you will, offers everything is going to be a spectacular experience, but there are these nuanced differences in terms of the atmosphere and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, it really is and I'm sorry, I gotta pop a couple of more of these up there. I
Yeah,
mean,
do it. They're
look
great.
look at this. Look at this stuff. I mean, guys, if you have not had this experience, also great drinks and great cocktails over there. If you haven't had the opportunity to go check out Common Thread, you want to celebrate a special occasion, a birthday, an anniversary, or you just want to have a really incredible meal, what we always talk about on this show as an experience, you got to go check that out. But what we were talking about just before I got off on that necessary tangent was Flora and Fauna.
Yeah, one of our newest restaurants in the group for sure. It's amazing.
Flora and
I was just there on Friday actually.
I this was, as they say, love at first bite,
Hmm.
Nilo. Like, we were there literally week one. I love just the vibe of the whole place, this sort of rustic, bakery, like
Hmm.
country kitchen type of vibe. These, I'm just going to take a step back for a second. And this is really what's going to put my appetite over the top. And my lunch today is just
You
going to, I
did
know
mention you were hungry. This
I
is not
did. I was
helping.
hungry to begin with. Like, this coffee cup's running low, and I'm not going to keep it too long because I know you got prep to do for your Super Bowl gathering today. This is what murders me when I go into places like this, because I'm looking at the menu and I'm like,
Hmm.
I know I want this. 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 It's like, okay, I know I got to rein myself in. But then as I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, got to get a soup, got to get a sandwich, got to get a side of biscuit with great, got to get all of this amazing, like, country breakfast. I mean, the
Yeah.
biscuits are out of this world. But then as you're standing there, you're seeing the display case. And this is what's happened to me most recently as
Yep.
well, with these devious, devilish sisters over in Beaufort with Sister Deli. They do the same thing to me, but they have baked stuff up top. And because they're doing specialty foods and everything like that,
Yeah.
they got all their cheeses and everything
Oof.
and their meats and everything right down under it. So it is literally a murderer's row. Let me see if I can pull up, if I have a better shot of what you are looking at. Yeah, here we go.
There it is.
So this is what you guys do to us when we come up to your counter. You're like, oh, so you're going to have your sandwich and you're going to have this and that. Well, how about this? We have sourdough loaves. And how about we have, croissants, and we have crullers, and like, it is torture.
They're great. They're all delicious too. You know, sometimes somebody just walks up and wants one of those instead of like, you know, having a
whole
full-on
meal
breakfast. And so but for somebody that loves food and like wants to try everything, that it doesn't help.
Yeah.
But it's delicious. It just gives you another reason to come back, you know?
Another reason to come back. And I'm like, oh, well, that will do just perfectly for breakfast tomorrow. So we usually leave with a bag of some goodies from there. But I'll tell you, like, I've only done I haven't done regular, like that's on my bucket, like top bullet point list of to go back for the not I want to say regular, but your standard supper club. I went to the focacceria one, which was incredible. And you had the focacceria from Nashville, so I gotta get back to that back there for that dinner menu. But
it's amazing, and it's so good. Like they're crushing it over there, and the value is ridiculous.
They really are. Is it still like $55 or something for a 3-course? Yep. Right, dude.
3 course, and it's like you basically get like 6 dishes per person. Like it's crazy.
Oh, you are not leaving hungry. Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Definitely
that's for damn sure. But honestly, I've done at least 3, 4, 5 times. I've done the breakfast. You got your fried chicken there that you can have on the biscuit. I think I just got that one as like a side. The soup, the grits, the biscuit with ham, egg, and cheese. I mean, look, this was literally, this is just me and my wife. This is literally what our table, and this is not just a one-off. This is what the table normally looks like when I come there for breakfast. Half of this ends up coming home, right? We get a couple of boxes and usually a bag, and this stuff ends up coming home. But I mean, the mushroom sandwich, the fried chicken, the burger is absolutely insane. What is this one? This was looks like it's got some.
I think it's like an Italian.
Yes, that's right.
It's from an older menu, but it definitely looks like the Italian on a.
Yes, the fries are delicious. This was the St. Vito focacceria that I talked about. We were there with a couple friends of ours. I mean, it was literally dish after dish after dish. Mm-hmm. We were blown away by this. I love the opportunities for these pop-ups and things like that.
It's great. It's just great to, like, you know, to connect with other chefs and, you know, try different stuff, and it's fun. It's fun to do those.
It really is. Look at that fried chicken Caesar sandwich, dude. That was a winner.
We got some new sandwiches in too, so
you do.
Man, yeah.
Okay, I got to take a look at that then.
One of my favorites right now is a mortadella sandwich.
Okay.
On there, it's delicious.
I'm in for that. I'm in for mortadella. There it is, another table covered with food. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take as soon as I get off with you, I'm gonna have to take a look at that new menu. And I'm actually, you know, are they open Mondays?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
So Monday, 7 days a week. Dinner is from Wednesday to Sunday.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesdays, just open for breakfast.
I think I may have to pop over there because I got a couple of things I got to take care of in Savannah, and I was planning on doing that tomorrow. So you just laid out the perfect breakfast/lunch for me.
Yeah, definitely.
For my Super Bowl Sunday. I don't want to say hangover because I don't really drink, but I definitely Monday is a great day to have a strong lunch lined up. So another excellent installment of this arsenal of incredible restaurants. Guys, if I wanted to dive into the whole farm situation, I would have Nilo here for another, hour or so probably, because I mean, farm, that's where it started for me.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We would be on vacation in Hilton Head. It would be we would be with my family. Wednesday or Thursday rolls around. It's like, okay, let's kind of split off on our own, have a little date night or whatever, go to the Pearl, have some oysters, have a cocktail, maybe an appetizer, and then walk down the street and have dinner at Farm. Another, I don't want to say bucket list. I'm not planning on leaving town or this earth anytime soon. But one of the things that I have been beating myself up about that I'm long overdue for is the Sunday brunch at
Oh
Farm.
man,
I've seen and I've seen
it's
and heard.
crazy good. Yeah,
Yeah, that's got to get done. I'm not the one usually to venture out on a Sunday, although I shouldn't say that because I've done quite a few jaunts out to Flora and Fauna on a Sunday. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't find myself an Old Town, although I have for a time or two, I guess, at Calhoun Street Tavern when my buddy Jevin and those guys on Low Country Boil are playing over there. But that's on the list. I got to get that done. And the other thing is that
Italian.
yes, exactly. You stole the thought right out of my mouth.
You were mentioning earlier. I thought about it. It's man. We just had it the other day, and it was amazing from start to finish. Everything was super good.
Yeah, not something that you would expect. And something came up. I was planning on doing this a couple of weeks ago. And something came up, so I had to cancel it. But Nilo's talking about the Italian tasting menu. So granted, this was last year. This was last February, but this is what the lasagna looked like on that menu. And let's see. Here we go. This is the current the Farm Italian tasting menu.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
You got 3 antipasti options. You got 2 premies with the potato gnocchi.
Well, you get all that, all the antipasti, all the premi. You get all that, and then you just choose your
secondi, right?
Secondi. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So, guys, you're gonna get all 3 of these. You're gonna get your Caesar salad, your carpaccio, your mushroom arancini. You're gonna get the potato gnocchi, and this is great for sharing. Especially if you're out there, as a 2 or a 4. And then you're gonna have your options. I mean, look at this: wreckfish acqua pazza. You got your chicken parmesan, the Italian staple. You got your pork ossobuco. My dad is a big ossobuco guy. I am also a big time ossobuco guy. And then, of course, fantastic. You got your steak Fiorentina with the roasted garlic, rosemary, and olive oil. Wow, you could do a 10-ounce hanger or a 24-ounce porterhouse. That's great. Whew. Okay.
It was amazing.
Is that thing that's still going, right?
I believe so. Yeah, okay. If I'm not mistaken, it's still going. It's been, like I said, it's really successful, and Chef Gavin over there really crushed it. Modu and everybody over there.
I gotta see Modu. It's been a while. I haven't seen my man in a while. I'm gonna get back over. I gotta get there for this. That's got to get done soon. So now that we have worked up quite an appetite, we covered that we're about a month away from Strangebird coming back. Mm-hmm. We covered the incredible brunch, lunch, and supper club options that we have at Flora and Fauna. We said we barely scratched the surface on Farm, but for those of you who are over here in Bluffton, I mean, at this point, Farm has institution status. Year after year, Farm is at the top of the list when anybody is talking about the best restaurants in Bluffton, and we really got we got an incredible just overall situation going on down there. Obviously, you got the Pearl's been there for a while. Bernard is killing it over at Ocon, over on the Bridge Collective. I know the Cottage was closed this past week because they're continuing to make further and more improvements. Agave's done a great job with the old Town dispensary space over there on Calhoun Street. I love just to go over there on Thursdays during the farmers market, which of course we talked about. Two Birds, they're posting up there every Thursday, obviously, unless for weather reasons it gets postponed or canceled. It really is. Old Town is a great place to get incredible food, and if you are of the adventurous type, and there's going to be people that are going to be watching this that are over in Savannah and are going to be, obviously, fans of Common Thread and fans of Flora and Fauna and raving fans of Strangebird that are chomping at the bit for it to come back. The overarching theme here is that this is a restaurant group that is a team of incredibly talented, dedicated individuals, starting with the Carters and on throughout the team. And that's one another thing that I just wanted to, before I let you go, because I have had the honor and the pleasure and the opportunity of to get to know, each of you guys, Brian and Juwan, who I still follow from afar. And I know he'll be, he pops back in from time to time, and hopefully I'll get to see him someday soon. You know, Brian, we talked about Chino, and we talked about Dave over there next door to Garden Square, Dave at Bro Shoes, and the whole team over there. I'm excited to talk to him after Valentine's Day. I'm going to get him to catch up with him. Inside and outside of Farm Hospitality Group, both over here in Bluffton and over in Savannah, and yeah, there are slightly different vibes in each of those towns, but I wanted to ask you about this because Brian and I talked about it. It really is a cool, collaborative, supportive, like sometimes almost family vibe among you guys. I mean, I'm not saying that like everybody is all best friends or everything like that, but like I came across you guys, and like I said, you and Brian and Juwan and like your crew over in like the farm group, and it's just a really cool vibe, and I don't think it's something that you're always going to find in an industry that's can at times be competitive and maybe sometimes cutthroat. Talk a little bit about that, because it's something that I think is really special.
I think this group is very special for the reason that I think we gravitate each other towards giving out the best we can when it comes to food. So I think that just brings the group together for sure, and it's just that passion, that passion for food, and like how we just kind of like mess around and play with food and try new things and just try to make it better, and I feel like it brings that group together, and we all kind of have similar personalities and humor and stuff like that, so that helps for sure. And then just the team, the team that brings everyone together, it makes sense, and it makes a little group grow a little bigger.
It's kind of like bringing together the ingredients for a great meal, right?
Correct.
You guys have a passion that is so obviously evident by the looks on your faces and the way that you are when you go to these places. It's what draws you in. We've talked about, I saw a clip, it came up on a couple of the episodes of the show. I saw a clip where it was like, you can overcome food that maybe is not spectacular. Like if the food is good but not great, that can be like, you can't fix bad food. But the difference between even if the food might not be spectacular, and this is just in general, it's the experience and the way that you're made to feel when you are there. Obviously, there's no question about the quality, because it's that passion and it's that shared dedication to excellence that shines through in the quality of the stuff that you guys put out there. But it's also the energy that you give off of each other that makes for that to be the fun experience that it is. Brian and I talked about how much fun, you could totally tell how much fun he's having with Natasha and all those crazy drinks that she's making over there. I think she calls him her chefry or something like that. Like the whole, like you guys, like you said, you guys have like similar like senses of humor, and your personalities work out really well together. And if you guys are having fun together and you are putting your heads together and you're combining your skills and your creativity to come up with these incredible dishes and these incredible experiences for people, it's so obvious from just from an outside interested observer who appreciates things like that,
Yeah,
It really is an awesome thing to see, and I am, like I said, I'm privileged to just kind of be around that, you know? Like,
definitely.
I have a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for the way that you guys are individually and together as a collaborative group, both inside and outside, and I know there's a lot of, like, I just had the other day, I had one of my, friends over in Beaufort was like, "Oh, I need something, and something came up, and I need it today." And one of the restaurants down the street popped up and said, "Oh, no problem, just come down here. I'll throw it in a
Yeah,
bag
yeah,
for you." Like, that kind of stuff is really cool. I like when I see it, and I just want to give you guys a shout out because it's really from someone that comes from 25 years or so in professional capacity of working together in teams, albeit in different industries.
yeah,
It
yeah.
really makes a huge difference
Definitely, it
when
definitely
there's
does.
that type of vibe, right?
Hmm.
So before I let you go, I always want to, because this is a food show after all, I like to throw it back to you. Is there anything that outside of this incredible group that you work for, anything that you have really enjoyed recently, whether it's locally or whether it's during the course of your travels, anything that you are excited to try out, or anything in general that you would like to spotlight as far as local eats, whether it be over there in Savannah, where Strangebird is on the verge of reopening in about a month or so as we stand here first week
Hmm.
in February, or over here in Bluffton.
I mean, you mentioned some of my favorite ones. E Tang is um, it's one of my favorites. Love going there.
I think Chinese New Year's coming up. My wife said she wanted to do something over there for that, which is definitely going to get done. Listen. I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah,
huge fan of the
definitely.
original.
Yeah.
I'm lucky now. They're right down the street here on 170. You got the one over
Yeah.
there in Hilton Head. You even have the dim sum one that I haven't checked out in Savannah. Big fan.
The
I'm right
original
there
one
with
is
you on
my
that.
favorite by far, though,
Same,
for
same.
sure.
Yes.
Bro Shoes is another great place to eat.
Did you see the wings that they're putting out today for Super Bowl?
I have not seen them.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. I opened up Facebook and it was the very first thing. Look, yeah, all I had to do was type it in. Look at this. New England dirt wings, sauced, fried, then sauced
oof.
again, and
Okay.
served with buttermilk ranch. Okay
Yep.
is right, man?
Yep.
Look at that. They know how to do their wings over
They
there.
do. They do. They do a fantastic job
I may or may not
with
have
all their
popped
chicken.
over. Oh yeah. Oh, dude.
I mean,
I,
whatever piece of the chicken it is, they're gonna crush it.
It really is incredible. I popped over. I popped over there for a couple of bites after we ate some of Brian's stuff. I had never done sour hour before, so I caught the end of
Oh, sour
tail
hour
end of
is
sour
nice.
hour.
Yeah.
I had to get those warm beef mignonette oysters again, and actually got a pretty nice. I ended up taking it home and eating it like the next day, but it was one of those roast beef sandwiches with the
Hmm.
cheese and the gravy poured over the top,
Okay.
and they were kind enough to, when I took it to go, they were kind enough to give me a little bit of that extra so I could, like,
Nice. Nice.
re-wet that thing when I got home. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Other than that, I can't. I don't have that much free time
That's what
to
I
go
get.
out and eat.
It's always a qualifier. That's what I
Yeah,
always get, because there is limited time that you have. So when you
there
have
is.
that one, like my friends over at Radici, it's like Monday. That's their day to, like, but it's
Yeah,
also the day that they kind of want to relax. So it's
for
tough
sure.
when you have such a crazy schedule.
There's a really cool spot in Pooler actually that I like going to eat. It's a Korean spot.
Okay.
Uh, if you like Korean food, and this place is it's like a small little restaurant. It's called Jinguk, and their Korean food is, I think, some of the best that I've had.
How do you
Uh,
spell that?
I believe it's Jin
Uh-huh.
Guk
Jin Cook. Okay.
in Pooler. It's like in a little shopping center.
I see it. Jinguk Korean cuisine.
Dude, it is. And if you go,
Excuse me. I'm
do
sorry.
me the honors, do me the favor, and get the pig feet.
Really?
Oh man, you're gonna be like, "What is going on right now?"
That
It is
is
so good.
very
It is
adventurous for me.
it is a delicious it's a delicious place for sure.
So here's what I'm gonna do, because, like I said, I'm gonna be over in Savannah tomorrow, and obviously Pooler is a little bit further of a ride.
Yeah,
But the only
but it's
time
worth
that
it.
I
It's
know,
worth
I
it.
know. The
Brandon
only
told me
time
about it, and he said the exact same thing. Like, get the pig feet. I'm like, all right, cool.
Brandon told you that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And when Brandon tells me something, I know I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're right.
He knows what he's talking about.
Oh, definitely.
Brandon Carter knows what he's talking about. So I'm gonna text this right now to Billy from Rocky's Deli. The only time I've ever been over to
Rocky's
Pooler.
Deli is another great one.
Oh, incredible, right?
Yeah.
I missed out. They had a special and I couldn't get over there this week that had it was just crazy. I'm gonna text him because the only time I've ever actually been over there is when I went to lunch with him at Zarepa, that Venezuelan spot, which was really good. Excuse me. He had a sandwich this week, the Mallory, seasoned grilled chicken breast. Let's see. Grilled chicken breast, fried dill pickles, applewood smoked bacon, Munster cheese, lettuce, tomato, and spicy Calabrian chili aioli on a semolina roll. His rolls are incredible. The semolina rolls that he gets up from look at the cross section of that guy right there. Yeah, so I'm going to text him because since I went to lunch with him about a year or so ago at Zarepa, I haven't been back over there, and I'm going to need to make that happen because that sounds awesome. All right, so you gave me some homework. I love this jingo.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I let you go, anything else that's coming up? Like we said, we're about a month-ish away from Strangebird. Anything else coming up that you want to throw a spotlight on or mention before I let you get back to your Super Bowl preparation?
I don't think besides the barbecue coming up on the 14th, I know we're going to be doing some stuff with the Forsyth Farmers Market.
Oh, cool.
Coming in March. I believe it's like Chefs and Farmers doing an event over there. I think it's March 5th.
Okay. I remember that you did this thing last year.
Correct. Yep.
Yes.
Yep,
okay.
A few of the group chefs were there. You know, there was a chef from Farm, from Common Thread. We were there as Strangebird. It was super fun, super delicious.
I got it right here.
It was awesome.
This was the Instagram post. So this was exactly last year. You and Felipe. I've been messaging Felipe. I'm like, Brian did my podcast. Nilo's doing my podcast. You're next.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love it. Yeah. So it says right here, this was from last year, Chefs and Farmers, a culinary experience benefiting the Forsyth Farmers Market. So go and check them. Follow Forsyth Farmers Market, and of course, follow Common Thread, follow Farm. You'll find any of that stuff on there. And I want to take us back into was there anything else coming up beyond that? That's the big one, right?
Yeah, those are the ones. Yeah.
Okay.
As of now.
So I want to take everybody on a trip back through time because we're going to go back to the future in about a month or so.
Yeah.
And we're going to be back in the Strangebird Savannah. There's the team right there. You guys got great merch too. I'm gonna have to get a shirt next time when I come back.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna be coming out with some pretty cool ones.
That's awesome
as well. Yeah. So.
And then we got. These are the dishes. These are the professional photos that the team over there was kind enough to send me. So guys, this is the stuff that you have to look forward to. I mean, damn! Look at that fried chicken sandwich, folks. Come on. This is getting me hungry for Super Bowl Sunday. Look at that shrimp. Look at those chips. Hell yeah. Well, man, we did it. We're just over an hour. It's about 12:45. Gives me plenty of time to get where I need to go. Like I said, I think I may be taking a venture up to St. Helena. Betos is smoking the you-know-what out of a whole bunch of stuff today. So I may have to go hit that. Otherwise, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was fun.
I can't wait. And I think what we should do is, I know you said that there's going to be an event that's going to kick things back off. So not necessarily on that particular day, but I think maybe, in that first week or two, I'd love to come by, RJ, my visually chopped video specialist, will come along with me, and we'll do some on-site content. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Awesome, man. All right, guys, there you have it. Super Bowl Sunday as we roll up on the early afternoon. Everybody's getting ready for their Super Bowl parties. This has gotten me good and hungry. So thank you again to Chef Nilo. Again, Daniel Aranza from Strangebird Savannah and the Farm Hospitality Group. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Enjoy your party, my man. Thank you so much.
You too, man. Thank you.
All right. Stay hungry, my friends. Have a great day.